What is up, everybody? Tech Chucker here, and I don't often get this excited about a figure or the review, but I am so freaking excited about this guy. This is from Neca. This is the Heroes of the Storm series. This is from a video game, actually. I've never actually played the game. I'm not a huge video gamer, but this figure and the series of figures look so cool. I just couldn't help myself. I had to grab this one. Now, this is Thrall. And this is just such a cool figure. Even in the package, this thing looks amazing. So I just can't wait to crack it open. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's crack this thing open and take a closer look. Okay, so I checked out a lot of reviews on this figure for articulation purposes. And it's not great, but it's not nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be. His head is on what I believe to be a single ball peg, is what my guess is. He can't really look up much at all. He can look down just a little bit. It's still not all that great, but I'm not really all that disappointed. He can look side to side. You do have to move his ponytail, pigtail things, or whatever those are. You need to move those out of the way a little bit, and then you can get him to move his head a little bit more, which is pretty good. This actually isn't too bad. And then there's just a little bit of tilt in the head. It's decent enough. I'm actually pretty pleased with that. His ponytail is on a peg, so you can rotate that around, which is pretty cool. Some companies do not do that, and NECA did. They gave us that at least, which is really cool. Moving into the shoulders, his shoulders are actually on a ball hinge, which works really quite good. It's very, very big, but he can get his arm pretty much almost straight out, which is pretty cool. He can rotate that arm all the way around, even with that shoulder pad. And then moving down into the elbow, there is a single hinge and a peg, so that can swivel around. He's not going to be able to bend that elbow all that much. Maybe it's about 20 to 30 degrees. It actually can bend down a little bit more than I would think. And then in the wrist, he's got a peg joint and a hinge. And that wrist piece of armor actually moves out of the way, which is pretty cool. There's actually a decent amount of motion or range of motion there. And both arms have that same capability, or both wrists have that same rotation capability. Moving into the torso, there really is not any, there's nothing for an ab crunch, at least nothing that you're really going to get out of it, but he can twist at the waist, and there's really nothing getting in the way of that, which is pretty awesome. So moving into the hips, this is the big surprise on a big figure like this. His hips are on what I believe to be ball hinges, I think, and he's really got a good range of motion. I mean, I was really pleased with that. Kicking forward, again, not a huge amount of range of motion there, maybe getting close to 45 degrees, probably 30, and then kicking backwards, not a whole heck of a lot. I mean, there's almost nothing. He does have a swivel at the top of that thigh, which is good, and then a single jointed knee, not very much range there. It does swivel, which is nice. And then in the ankle, there's really not much range of motion. I believe this is maybe a ball peg, but it might be a hinge. Nothing forward or back, at least not much to write home about. There is an ankle rocker, and it works well enough, especially for the range of motion that this figure has. One last note is these pigtail, ponytail things or whatever, they have wires in them, so you can pose those however you like to make it look like the wind is blowing them, and that is awesome. I think it's really cool when they give us those extra details, and I should note that those shoulder pads are very soft, and they move out of the way very, very well. Overall, for such a big figure, knowing that the articulation wasn't going to be great, I'm actually really pleasantly surprised and happy. All right, so the sculpt and the paintwork on this figure are what drew me to it, because this thing is just so cool looking. And looking at this face, hopefully I can get the lighting okay if I keep my fingers out of the way, but I mean, this face looks so good. I mean, NECA did an amazing job sculpting it, looking at those ears. I mean, they did just an impeccable job with the paint. These shoulder pads are a very soft, kind of pliable, plasticky rubber, and they painted them really, really nicely. There's dry brushing throughout it, and yet they don't get in the way of the articulation. If we look at the actual skin tone on his shoulder and arm, I mean, there's lots of different color variations in that green. It just looks so good. There's so many different little details and nooks and crannies of different sculpt work. You can see there's on this belt piece, it looks like there's actually some battle scarring, and the feathers. I mean, look at the feathers; those look cool. I'm gushing all over this thing because they did such a phenomenal job. The legs, they continued that same paint work. These boots have some really cool details on it. I like the kind of the chainmail look of the legs. These little skirt pieces are kind of soft. They're soft enough that you can get them out of the way. The buckles are painted. NECA just nailed it with this thing. I'm really, really pleased with this figure, and I mean, it's just so cool. I mean, you just look at everything. There's so many neat little details. The hair, you can see the actual hairs and the little blue things that are wrapped around the ends of the hair. You can see it. It looks like they're almost wisping in the air. Moving down, let's go ahead and take a look at just how tall this figure is, because it's actually not as big as you might think. It's just a hair over 7 inches from the top of the ponytail, maybe 7.25 inches tall. So it's not technically a very domineeringly huge figure. And if we put Deadpool right next to him, he actually scales relatively well with a Marvel Legend. I mean, the proportions maybe not, but height-wise, it actually scales pretty well. You could fit him in with some of your Marvel Legends, and I mean, I definitely would not fault you, probably because I'm going to display him with my Marvel Legends, simply because I can, and right now he's the only one I've got. Alright, so Thrall comes with just one accessory, which actually I really don't mind. It is his hammer, and this thing is sculpted really, really nicely. I mean, just look at the detail. Obviously, it has seen its fair share of battles with all of the scarring or the dents and slashes and whatnot, but look at the paintwork on this thing. It is stellar, I would say, and that little emblem in the middle is so cool. I like the gold rivet things. This thing is just super cool, and you can see the base of this, and you're probably thinking, how is this a hammer? Well, it comes with the handle as a separate piece, and this is really just one color. It's just black, but there's a lot of little intricate sculpt work details, and the reason it comes in 2 pieces is so that you can actually get it into his hand without breaking anything, and I appreciate this very, very much. It is really cool that they would do that, and that just pops right on like that. This is an amazing accessory. I love this thing. He holds it really, really well. I love it. I don't need any other accessories for this figure being $24.95, and I mean, that's all you need. This thing is so cool, and I'm looking again on his wrist. You can see the buckle on his wrist is painted. I mean, I know I'm supposed to be talking accessories, but I mean, this thing is just amazing. It looks so good. I don't need alternate hands. Yeah, alternate hands would be fine, but at the price point, with the paint and the sculpt, this thing doesn't need it. NECA gave us exactly what we needed. This hammer is amazing. I'm over the moon with this thing. I love it. Go get it. I don't even care if you know anything about the video game. I don't. And it's worth it. I'm probably going to go online and check to see if I can pick up any more at a reasonable price. It does look like the prices have been, kind of going up, but thus far, Toys R Us still has them at retail for the most part. So go get them while they're still there. Alrighty, folks. I hope you enjoyed this review. If you did, go ahead and hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Leave me a comment. What do you know about this video game? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Is this the best game you've ever played? Is it the dumbest game you've ever played? Have you never played it before? Are you about to go play it now because you saw this review? So let me know in the comments below what you think. And until next time, I'll see you guys later.